Hello there, and welcome to this series, which is all about living with long-term illness, including long COVID, and with disability. And I come from a place of personal experience. What I realise is that each of us has to find our own journey. And what I want to talk to you about today is finding something that fills you up, something that generates energy and fills your batteries rather than drains it. And one of the problems when you are dealing with long-term illness and disability is there's much to drain your energy. The anxiety about will you get better, the challenge of day-to-day living. And so it becomes all the more important that you find ways that help you feel good about yourself and feel better. Now, I'm going to talk about my personal experience, but recognize I'm not telling you that this is right for you. You've got to find what's right for you. But there's a growing body of research that by being in nature, by getting out of the concrete jungle in some way or form, and actually experiencing the freedom and the energy of being in nature is incredibly empowering. It certainly makes a huge difference in terms of mood. And they now know that forest schools and gardening and getting out into nature has a profound effect on our mood. In reality, we are animals. And I think that when we can engage with the natural world, that grounds us, that makes us feel more of who we are. Now, there are huge practical difficulties. I absolutely appreciate that. Having spent many years completely wheelchair bound, and even now I find uneven surfaces very, very difficult to walk on. So getting out to go and walk in the woods, which used to be one of my favorite occupations, is no longer available. But rather than focus on what you can't do, you'll know that from one of the previous videos, this is all about focusing on what you can. I love to garden. And when I was wheelchair bound, one of the things that I did was to make sure that I could garden, even though it was on a much limited scale. So using window boxes or pots, I was fortunate that I could have some raised beds created. But you can do things on the scale that works for you, whether that's your physical ability or your pocket. Being out there with my hands in the soil, with the feeling the wind on my face, being able to enjoy that sense of the freedom that being outside of the confines of my bedroom when I was really, really poorly or out of the house made a huge difference to me. And there were times when I couldn't physically get out in the garden or go and walk in nature. But I think there's still ways of doing it. And one is using houseplants. But for me, on those days when I couldn't do anything, one of the things that gave me a sense of being with nature was to watch the sky, and to do that through the window, and to watch the clouds and the amazing formations of the clouds and how they move and how they drift, and making sense of the interpretation that I made of the shape of the clouds. That may be something that really helps you. You know, if you are completely bound by your physicality, then, you know, maybe there's the opportunity for somebody to help you outside and to lie on a lounger or on a chair well wrapped up and just get some fresh air. Or whether it is that, you know, somebody brings you flowers and you spend some time being in the moment and actually looking at the form and the shape and the color of those flowers, and then imagining them in their rightful growing situation. Guided visualization is a great way to enjoy nature if you are completely and utterly bedbound and limited. And there is now research which demonstrates that, for example, footballers who have been injured, if they do guided visualizations in terms of their training session, that their muscles don't waste as much. And so I'm pretty certain that by taking yourself off into nature and having a walk through the woods, or using a YouTube video to actually look at nature, and there's plenty of videos about, and imagining yourself in that place can have at least a big part of the effect that getting out in nature truly gives to you. Now, nature is one of those things for me. It could be that doing some drawing, being creative, even if it's colouring in an adult's colouring in book, and that might sound a bit trite, but it's an activity that takes you into that zone where you're not thinking about anything else. Listening to music is another one. It really is about finding your go-to place and being able to take yourself into that place where you are not focusing on all of the things that are going wrong, on your pain, but focusing on something that fills your batteries. I would suggest to you that you experiment, be curious. There is no right and wrong answer. The important thing is that you choose to look for things that fill your battery. I'd love to know how you get on and what your challenges are, and maybe I can help you find a creative way around those. So let me know. Please email me at Gina, Gina, at genuinely and then a dash u.com. Take care, but get yourself out there. Bye-bye now.